Good morning, everybody. Hope all is well on this chilly Thursday, thankful Thursday. All right. Again, they wanted to remind if there are any of you who are seniors, they're trying to track you down. You have to submit this form for graduation. You need to let them know whether you are opting in or out of walking for graduation. Everybody, if you are a senior, you must turn this form in. All right, we're going to be looking at agriculture today. I do have some questions for you, but we're going to watch a video first and then answer the questions after the video. Wait for a few more people to get in. In the meantime, you can, again, look over the reading in Canvas. Oops. There we go. All right, so while you're waiting, make sure you've done that. I'm also, while you are working later on, I'm going to enter the grades for the deforestation Nearpod. So if you haven't completed that, you could use this time to finish that up before we start watching the video. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. I have several of you off camera. You're required to be on camera. Good morning, good morning. All right, we're just waiting for a few more people, maybe one more minute. We're doing agriculture this morning. We're going to watch a video and then answer some questions. All right. I think in a minute we'll be able to start because almost everybody's here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you just came in, right now we're in Canvas. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're looking at agriculture today. I have some review questions for you in the assignment area, but we're going to watch the video first. Okay, let me see if I have to stop sharing. Oops, I did that by accident. That answered that question. Sometimes there are just too many buttons to push. Okay. All right, so pay close attention to what's happening in this video, and then we will discuss the questions that need to be answered after the video.
Welcome to a brand new unit in environmental science. In this unit, we'll start to explore all of the natural resources that we rely on for life. Humans use resources and land space to keep life flourishing, and we'll think about how we can manage these resources sustainably for generations to come. We'll start with a resource that you depend on for survival. In fact, you consume this resource every single day: food. When you sit down for your favorite meal, do you ever wonder where that food came from or what goes into producing our foods? Agriculture is the backbone of our food production system.
Yeah, it's got
Without a reliable way
a
to grow crops,
real
we
low.
couldn't feed the
Hold
world's
on.
population. In today's lesson, we'll
Hopefully
explore
that's a
the
little
Green
better.
Revolution. What was it? How did it reshape agriculture? And most importantly, what were its impacts on soil and sustainability? Are you ready, scientists? Let's dig in.
Yeah, I have my volume turned all the way up too, but that's as high as the volume for the video will go.
During the Industrial Revolution, agricultural societies transformed into urban societies. The technological advancements of the Industrial Revolution brought rapid population growth. At the same time, more and more people flocked to factory jobs in cities, leaving rural areas behind. What challenges do you think these changes created for farmers? Pause the video here and record your thoughts. As more people moved away from rural areas, they relied on a dwindling number of farmers to feed them, and traditional farming methods simply couldn't produce enough food. Suddenly, farmers had to ask themselves, how could they grow enough food to feed the booming population while the number of farmers shrank? As science and technology flourished, these advancements led to brand new farming practices. The result wasn't a single invention, but a series of changes in farming that transformed the way we produce food forever. The Green Revolution refers to a period of agricultural innovations from the 1940s through the 1980s that led to increased food production. But this revolution wasn't just about feeding more people. It symbolized the power of innovation, how science and technology could solve real-world problems and reshape industries. Let's take a closer look at some of the innovations that changed the future of farming. Take a look at this farmer's field. What do you notice about the crops growing? This entire field contains just one type of plant: wheat. During the Green Revolution, the idea of monoculture became widespread. Mono means one. Instead of growing a wide variety of crops to feed their own family, with monoculture, farmers began focusing on growing a single crop at a time in massive quantities to sell for profit. Additionally, scientists used selective breeding to develop new strains of crops like rice and wheat called high-yield variety crops. These HYV crops produced greater amounts of food than traditional varieties of the plants. Monocultures and HYVs were extremely efficient and led to high yields of food grown. But as farmers started to specialize in just one crop, they also had to provide the right nutrition for huge fields of one crop. How did they do it? Enter the development of synthetic, or man-made, chemical fertilizers. Fertilizer is like plant food. Crops need nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to grow. In the past, farmers relied on natural methods like compost or manure to fertilize their fields. During the Green Revolution, synthetic fertilizers became the norm. What do you think is the advantage of making a synthetic fertilizer with a specific blend of nutrients? Pause the video and record your thoughts.
All right, and these are some of the questions you'll have to answer on your worksheet, so I have them written down.
Synthetic fertilizers were efficient, and farmers knew exactly which nutrients crops were getting. Sprayers could cover entire fields in fertilizer quickly. These powerful chemical blends added essential nutrients to any soil, allowing crops to grow faster and larger than ever before. In addition to needing a lot of fertilizer, these giant fields also needed a lot of water. To accomplish this, new sprinkler and irrigation systems were developed. Simply put, these systems took water from a source like a lake or underground well and channeled it in tubes to water the plants. The use of motorized pumps and large-scale irrigation canals transformed previously dry regions into fertile farmlands. With irrigation, crops could now thrive, even in areas where rainfall had previously been unreliable. But while fertilizers help plants grow, pests like insects, weeds, and fungi can reduce crop yields. The Green Revolution introduced chemical pesticides to keep these threats under control. If we break this word down into two parts, we get pest and side. The root word side means to cut or kill. So, what do you think pesticides do? That's right. They help kill any pests that damage crops. By spraying chemical pesticides on their fields, farmers could now protect their crops on a much larger scale, preventing devastating losses. All of these practices helped achieve the Green Revolution's goal of producing more food for a growing world. But they weren't without drawbacks, which brings us to our next big question. What impacts did these practices have on soil quality and sustainability?
Okay, I'm pausing it right there because this is one of your questions is asking you
While chemical
just that.
fertilizers and
Oops,
pesticides,
I thought I was pausing
irrigation
it.
systems, and
All
monocultures
right, but pay
helped
attention here.
produce more food and made farming more efficient,
Oops, now it's paused. Pause when you don't want it to
these
pause.
changes brought about serious environmental impacts. Let's start with soil quality. Synthetic fertilizers gave plants the nutrients they needed to grow quickly. But over time, heavy fertilizer use led to soil degradation, or a loss in quality. Synthetic fertilizers disrupted the natural balance of nutrients in the soil, adding too much nitrogen and depleting other nutrients. Additionally, the chemicals in fertilizers and in pesticides seeped into the soil, harming the organisms that live there, such as earthworms. This prevented these organisms from performing their role of decomposition, which is how essential nutrients are recycled back into the soil after plants die. This means that over time, the soil became more nutrient poor and lost its natural ability to support plants. It also became compacted and more prone to erosion. Imagine a sponge that's been squeezed dry. It just can't hold water or nutrients anymore. Monoculture farming also contributed to soil problems. Before monoculture, rotating through different crops was more common. Because different crops rely on different amounts of each nutrient, rotating the crops would allow the soil to replenish. But monoculture farming didn't allow for that natural balance. Growing the same crop over and over drained the soil of the specific nutrients needed by that crop, creating an unhealthy cycle. Finally, some irrigation techniques increase the salinity, or salt levels, in the soil. Groundwater often contains salts that have dissolved from nearby rocks. When plants take up this water, the salts get left behind, increasing the salinity of the soil and making it difficult for new plants to develop properly. Future crop growth is dependent on healthy, fertile soil. Based on these soil health impacts, do you think these practices were sustainable? Pause the video here and make your prediction. While these practices helped grow crops quickly at first, they aren't sustainable in the long term. As soil quality declines, future crop yield also declines. This reduction in soil health and plant yield is called soil desertification, where a previously fertile land area slowly loses its ability to support life. While these practices were essential to keep up food production in the short term, they had massive long-term consequences. The good news, the story doesn't end here. Understanding these impacts helps us find better solutions for the future. Today we learned about the Green Revolution, a pivotal moment in agricultural history. We explored the key practices that allowed us to produce enough food to meet the needs of a growing population, like monocultures, fertilizers, irrigation, and pesticides. We also discussed the impacts these practices had on soil quality and sustainability. Essentially, the Green Revolution was a lesson in both innovation and consequences. It showed us what humanity can achieve with science and technology, but also reminded us of the importance of caring for our planet's natural resources. The Green Revolution helped meet the needs of people in the short term, but created challenges for future farming. Healthy soil, clean water, and balanced ecosystems are essential for long term food production, and these were all strained by the practices of the Green Revolution. In our next lesson, we'll explore some sustainable alternatives that aim to protect the environment while still growing enough food for everyone. Until then, remember, every resource we use has an impact on the environment. By making thoughtful, sustainable choices, we can help ensure a healthier planet for future generations.
All right, and that is our goal, is to have healthy, sustainable planet. Now, let me see if I can switch this back and it do right. There we go. All right, so again, the Canvas unit that you have to read is the impact of agriculture. The activity that you have to do basically is dealing with those questions at the end. So I put them in a Dropbox folder. So this is your assignment right now. Okay. So use the rest of the time to answer these questions. This link is the video we just watched. I'm trying to put it in the save list, but for some reason it's giving me a hard time trying to save it to your playlist. So I just put it there as a placeholder. You may not be able to open it because you all can't. I don't know how it'll open for you as far as being a YouTube not in your class list. But that's the link for the video we just watched. Okay, and these are the questions you need to answer. Alrighty. And again, if you have not finished the deforestation, please finish that one first because that one is now late. I'm going to put those grades, I'm going to check Nearpod, and I'm going to put those grades in the grade book right now while you are working. All right, so yes, this assignment is in the module, but it should also be on your to-do list. There is no link for the Okay, let me. I'm going to check on that. But let's see, deforestation. When you say there is no link, is there? You don't have to do. You don't have. There's no link in because I have to put the grade in. So you can't deposit the grade in for deforestation. I have to do that. So that's just there for me to add the points in the grade book. Okay. So yes, it's empty right now because I have to put those grades in. It's not where you can transfer that. And so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, is that clear to everybody? Yes. I'm going to do that. So by the time class is finished, you'll see something there. I have to check back with Nearpod and then write down your scores and then put them in the grade books. Nothing for you to do except finish the Nearpod. All righty. Any other questions? Can I look at your screen? I sure can. Yeah, and that's all it's going to say. So I have to put the grade in. And then the code at the top is the code for the Nearpod. Is that what you need? All right, let me log into the Nearpod while you give me 1 second to get there, then I can assure you that you're good. You're good. Shows you didn't answer anything. Mm, Okay. Um, Camellia, it shows that you started it, but you're not finished and you haven't answered the quiz questions yet. So it kind of shows you in the middle of it. Okay. Okay, you're welcome. I do have quite a few people who it's like you just opened it. It's at 5% participation. Folks, it shows me there are several activities that you need to go through. So it shows me all the activities, whether you've done it or not. It gives you a participation grade as you went through all of the assignments. And then there is a 5 question uh, quiz towards the end, and you need to answer that. That's separate. Or is this the quiz one? There's an open-ended quiz and there's, whoops. So I keep clicking on the wrong thing sometimes. Okay. Yes, there's a multiple choice question, 5 of them, 5 questions. So you get a score out of 5. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people have done that. So that means a lot of you need to start with this. So make sure you work on deforestation first before you work on the agriculture question. If you are finished with deforestation, and I can tell you that Daniela, Cadence, Corlin, Ryan, Chase have taken the quiz. Everybody else, if I didn't call your name just now, you got work to do in deforestation. So everybody should be looking at the Nearpod, trying to get that straightened out. First. Let's see the Nearpod. Okay, let me put the link in the chat for you. Who this is at my door. Um, Give me 1 second. All right, that's the code for the assignment. Oh, let me see who this is. Kevin, did you have a bench for sale? Did you guys post a bench for sale on Marketplace? They don't know what they're talking. Banging my door down. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know who these people are. Let me. Okay, let's see. Copy link. Mhm. Okay, there you go. All right, so that's the link in the chat now for this Nearpod. You're welcome. Sorry for the interruption. They were banging my door down. Okay, so I put that in there for everybody to look at. The link is there for everybody because several of you are not finished with this Nearpod. So please do that first. And then worry about the agriculture assignments second. If you are finished with this, okay, let me answer your question, Camilla. And that is a good question. All right, folks, it does matter how you log in to if you're using a nickname, it needs to be one I can recognize. Or initials. Yeah, I have your, so I have your full name on here and it says 5% participation at the moment. Okay. But I have you in twice. So then I have one that just says Camila Dominguez, and that one is 47%. So stick with the one that you just did because with your full name, because that means you started over. And I'll look at that one for the grade. Because you got halfway on the other one, but I do see both. Okay, that's fine. I understand. I would check both for a grade. All right. All right, Mr. Brown. All right, so again, that one, I'll change the due date on that because otherwise y'all gonna be late. But please make sure that you're doing that first. All right, so stop working on the agriculture assignment and work on the Nearpod first, please. Just doing it again. The 50% one was with just let me do this. I don't know what that does. Is that helpful? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, it only has it does not have Gonzalez on it. It's the one that does not have Gonzalez, just Camila Dominguez. You're welcome. Mm, okay. And who is absent? And you're using the same link? I thought you could go back in. Okay. Let's see. All right, I see the one with your full name, and that's 5%. I'm still only seeing the two. Okay. Oh my goodness. But that is, let's see. That's the one. That's the same code. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what to tell you. If you can get to the quiz part, that'll be fine. Actually, let me refresh my page. Yeah, okay, I refreshed my page. Yeah, it has you. Yeah, you've started 3 times, 4 times really. All right, just try to get to the um, quiz part and see on one of them and see what, and I'll mesh the whole thing together. You're welcome. All right, Chance, yours is on here twice as well, where you got 50% of it done. So you need to also try to get to the quiz part. I'm still showing 0% for a couple of you. It's showing it's the same. The one that I just gave you today is the same one, the same GTE WK that I'm looking at the results for. GTE WK. They should be the same. They should be the same. Let's see. Yeah, I have two for you also. One today and one from the other day. Because it does give me dates. So the 12th was the day y'all first logged in. And then today. I'd like it done today, folks. You need to just knock this out today so that we don't have to worry about logging in and out. So everybody, like I said, if you are doing something else right now, focus on doing the Nearpod so we don't have to go back and do this again. Okay? Because yeah, I'm seeing people logged in twice, but there's dates on it. I said this is why it's important for you to focus on doing something during the time it's assigned, especially with things like Nearpod. Once you log in, usually this is not a problem. I don't know why it's where you can't log back in, but again, folks, if you are doing something else, finish the Nearpod today. Because it looks like it is having a issue with you logging in and going back. And most of you who have not finished have not gotten to the 5-question quiz, which is the other part of your grade. In fact, let me say this. If everybody can just get to the slide with the multiple choice questions right now, that would be great. So you can skip all the other slides and just get to the one with the multiple choice questions. Because we got what? 10 minutes left to class? Okay. All right. I can't do that, huh? All right. Carry on. Yeah. Sorry about it. All right, so I've put in all the grades for the landfill. So if you don't have a grade for landfill, that's because I didn't have a grade for landfill. I changed the due date for the deforestation one for next week, so I'll put those in when I check on those next week. Because we have the long weekend and I won't see you until Tuesday, so I stretch that to then, and hopefully I'll get it all together by then. I mean, well, things will work out by then. Okay. All right, and we won't worry about the agriculture one until then as well. With that question number 4, try to make sure that you do the pros and cons in a chart form, pros and cons, or at least say this is the pro, that's the con. Okay, if you attempt to do that question before next week. All right, time's up. You all have a great day. Enjoy your lunch. Stay warm. Bye.